right behind that mountain there, is the very reason I have done this hike. The quicker we get there, the quicker we can find out what's there. Let's go.
I'm in the Hajar Mountains in Fujairah on a trail called Ain Al Sheria. It doesn't feel like the UAE most people picture, only an hour and a half from the bustling city of Dubai, and it's a great place to come for a bit of serenity and to immerse yourself in nature.
About 1, maybe 2k into the hike, and this is my first view of greenery. There are acacia trees, and it's just making me think how much beautiful vegetation there would have been thousands of years ago on this route. I've just been told to keep an eye out for snakes and scorpions. Be particularly mindful of black ants because their bites are really bad, and as much as I appreciate that little bit of information, a part of me wishes I wasn't told it and I could have just, plodded on completely oblivious and hoped that I never saw any of those 3 things. To be fair, I'd rather actually, I think, see a snake than I would a massive camel spider, because I don't know what I'd do, but there'd be tears. Screams. Right, let's crack on. Quite a few steps. It's just sometimes nice to drop your bags, drop your sticks and just admire the view and just take a breath. Because often when you're hiking and you've got a destination to get to, it's so easy just to keep on pushing and pushing, and then you lose all of the atmosphere, the stillness and the sheer size of these mountains. I'm no geologist. What I do know is that these Hajar Mountains are one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world. That is unbelievable. And apparently, approximately 28 million years ago, the African plate and the Arabian tectonic plates collided, and with such force that it forced seabed to rise above the ocean. Hence, these mountains were created. I can't believe it. Wow. Here we go. Someone stopped in this exact spot to carve symbols into very dense stone. But whatever their reasoning was, they felt it was important enough to stop and to carve. The communities that would have passed through these mountains all those years ago, people that would have carved these fantastic symbols on the rock faces, were traders, herders, carrying livestock between villages, I guess, and maybe they were trying to communicate through to different tribes, marking their routes. I mean, nobody actually really knows why they spent so long stopping at the edge of rock faces to carve these symbols, but where they chose to carve it is also quite interesting, because obviously it was a well-trodden path. People would have passed through here, and in those days it would have been a lot more greener. The wadis would have held water long enough, and there would have been a lot more livestock and animals. So although it's a different place, the paths that these people had trodden on, I am now standing on, and that is unbelievable.
Most of what's carved on these rock faces shows mostly animals and hunting scenes, which makes sense because that was their daily life.
What is blowing my mind is that whatever conversations or whatever meaning these symbols represented to the people, they were still a form of language, they were still communicating. The fact that they're still on this rock 3,000 to 4,000 years later makes me question the way that we communicate. And the fact is that we predominantly now communicate not by writing things down, but by messaging on screens, emails, and how much of what we say and our language and how we communicate, that in 3,000 to 4,000 years will still be here. For people like me to come back to, that I can stand so close to another person's communication and their language and what they wanted to voice out into this world almost 3,000 to 4,000 years ago.
We may never know exactly who made these or what they were trying to say. Carved into the hardest stone they could find, and they left their mark. And that makes it worth noticing.